it's the holiday season, and that means you're probably seeing lots of recipe videos on Facebook. I think it went something like that. I think that's how it started.
And that's all great, but honestly, here's the only recipe you'll need this holiday season, the Thanksgiving and Christmas. First, you need flour, then sugar, old-fashioned oats, pumpkin, nutmeg, imitation vanilla flavor, baking powder, and pumpkin pie spice. Then get rid of all that crap. You don't need it. Destroy it. Now grab the vodka and pour it into a glass.
Anyway, do the intro thing, the song. Okay, guys, I know that I went 2 weeks without doing a podcast. I understand that. And you should know by now that I'm the type of adult that still feels like she's always in trouble, right? Like, that's a problem. Like, it's a crippling problem every day where I'm an adult, and I can make decisions, and I can put gas in my own car, and I can pay mortgage, and I can purchase things like eggs without having to ask anybody. I can freely buy eggs whenever I want, and yet I still feel like I can get in trouble and get sent to my room and be grounded. Although getting grounded sounds like the best thing on the planet. It's like you have to go to your room, stay in your room, and read. And you can't watch TV, and you gotta read, and you can't talk to anybody, you can't go anywhere, you can't go to any parties. You gotta just sit in your room and read. Wow, that sounds awesome. That sounds awesome. It's like field trips, man. Field trips are freaking wasted on these kids in school. Dude, Calvin got to go to a chocolate factory, Willy Wonka style. Don't worry, he came home. There was no chocolate river involved. They didn't have to take him to the juicing room or anything. He probably licked the walls, but that's kind of his own choice. It had nothing to do with the wallpaper. That's just kind of Calvin for you. Dude, they took time out of school to walk to a legit chocolate factory and learn how chocolate was made. And the kids were like, this is boring. Where's our free chocolate? And I'm just thinking, dude, these kids don't get it. These kids don't get it. You're getting to take time off of work, basically. That's their version of work, school, right? You get to take time off of work. You get to go to a chocolate factory. You get to talk to a little old lady who, like, the chocolate recipe has been in her family for generations. It came from the old country, and there's like a secret ingredient that if she told you, she'd have to kill you. Like, that's all I want in life. That would be the best thing to ever happen. But anyway, what was I talking about? I don't know what I was talking about. Oh yeah, so I'm an adult who often thinks that she's in trouble. So yes, I did. Did I feel crippling guilt every single day that I didn't put out a podcast and I knew that I should have? Yes. What, did I plan out my apology in my head 100 times of what I was going to say to you guys? Yes. Did I think you were all going to abandon me and my views were going to drop and then everyone would just be like, you know what, Lisa's not that great and I hope she dies? Yes. Yes to all of those things. But of course I have excuses. Of course I do. I was so sick for the first week that I missed the podcast 2 weeks ago. So sick. I was like doing all of the meds and the Mucinex and like all the things just to get my voice back to do our very last Tuesday night because our residency at the Punk Rock Museum has come to an end. And let me tell you, I've never been so nostalgic in all my life. And yes, the residency might come back next year. But the run for this year, like we did what we set out to do, and it was so amazing. It was so incredible. And this is maybe I'll read some of these for the subscribers later. But yearbook style, you know that super annoying girl at the end of the school year, who's like, sign my yearbook and write something nice. That was me on the last Tuesday night. Here I am in a punk rock bar going up to every single person, which first of all, so many people came out. Like all of our friends came out. It was awesome. And I took this board around and I'm like, can you sign my board? And I gave them a Sharpie. And they said such wonderful things like, thanks for the memories. And love you guys so much. You make my Tuesday every week. And you guys rock. And then somebody drew a dirty picture that I had to cover in this Post-it. You suck, Lisa. Awesome. Love that one. Yeah, so really, really cool. Oh. But anyway, I was sick the first week. Had to spend all my time and energy trying to get my voice back for the very last Tuesday, which is an epic success. And then the second week was F1. Last week was F1. And I'm going to get to that in a second. But first, hey, happy anniversary of my viral video. My very first ever viral video was this one. I'll play a little clip.
Now grab the vodka and pour it into a glass. Mix it with any liquid you have in the fridge. Who even cares? Snapple. Whatever. Drink up! You'll feel better about your family and your seasonal depression.
Now, you might be thinking to yourself right now, that's not that funny. I've seen videos like that 1,000 times on TikTok. Well, here's the deal, children. That video came out before TikTok existed, and it was unique at the time to just be like, you know, do you want to? What do you? I'm gonna act like I'm doing one thing, like cooking, but then what I'm really doing is drinking straight vodka. No, that's not true. I did suggest a mixer, such as Snapple, which was what I had in my fridge at the time of filming. And I've talked about this video before. My first ever viral video is one of those things where I had been working on the internet for so many years with different companies. I was working with the Warp Zone. I was working with, just like all of these, the Polaris and all these video game things. And they would always, I'd be a part of other people's videos that sometimes did really well and get a couple 100,000 views. And that was always really cool for me. But none of my own personal stuff ever did crazy numbers until this video. And I want to say it was like 2016. That sounds right. So it was a while ago. But yeah, it organically did like 2 million views in the first week. It was crazy. And that's insane numbers for back then. And it was all on Facebook, I believe. But, and yeah, it was right. I think it was the Tuesday or Wednesday before Thanksgiving. So that's this week. And, whether you celebrate Thanksgiving or not, you could still celebrate my first viral video. Yay! Yay, Lisa did it. Yay! And it always boggled my mind that nothing came from it, right? It's like I was chasing the dream of having a viral video for so long because I thought that's the goal, is to get millions of people to see you. Can you not meow into my microphone while I'm trying to tell a story? Thank you. But I finally had a video that did millions upon millions of views. It just kept growing and growing, growing completely organically. Didn't put any money into it. I think George Takei shared it, and then it just blew up, and then nothing came from it. I didn't get paid for it. I didn't get any residuals. I didn't get an agent. I didn't get a role in a TV show. I didn't get offered, all these sponsorship deals. People weren't sending me Snapple, even though I was talking about Snapple. And nobody was sending me vodka. That's the most terrible part, is that I didn't get free vodka out of it. So it kind of just came and went. And that was actually a really good lesson to be like, okay, maybe chasing the viral video dream should not be the goal. I think the goal should just be always just make good content and care less about what the numbers are going to do at the end, and care more about what you're doing in the moment to make whoever's watching smile or laugh. Because that's all I want to do. I just want to make people happy. And I want to make people smile. And I'm going to do it all with a cat on my shoulder, just rubbing her face on me and just getting all of my clothes covered in white cat fur. That's the dream. I'm living the dream right now. It's happening currently. You're watching it. Well, audio listeners are not watching it. But if you're watching the video, which you should, you will see my cat, Girl Kevin, just rubbing her face all over me and my equipment. And that's because she loves me. And I love you too. My hair's on your hair. Okay. So anyway, I knew from a young age that I wanted to be drunk on Thanksgiving. That was always a really big goal of mine. In fact, it was a Thanksgiving when I was pretty young that I got drunk for the very first time. For the very first time. And I'm real nostalgic about it. I want to say it wasn't the first time I'd had a drink, because my family, we're the Foyles, we like drinking. It's just a thing that's always been around me. Nobody to excess, nobody's getting addicted or anything like that. But it's just always been around, right? My family loves sports, and we're always drinking beers, so we're watching sports. And so, of course, there's plenty of times when my parents are like, just have a drink. And I'm like, it's gross. And then it got to an age where I'm like, you know what? That's not so bad. I think I could get used to that. But I'd had a couple gosh, how old was I? I know it was high school. Definitely too young to be legally drinking. But I'd had some drinks here and there, but it wasn't until this Thanksgiving at my cousin Kate's house in Portland that for some reason I let loose. I don't know what was happening with me that year. Gosh, this had to have been like 15, 16, 17. I think it was in that age range. Maybe that sounds right. I was done with all that. I had moved back up north. Yeah, but it was definitely the first time where I'm like, let's do this. Let's see what it's like. Let's see what it's like to get drunk. I had one glass of wine. Then I had another glass of wine. Then another glass of wine. Honestly, being so small and such a lightweight and having it been my first time, really drinking, I think it was probably honestly like two glasses of wine. It's probably like 2 glasses and like she's done. But yeah, there's a bunch of my family there. My Aunt Vicky has a beautiful house. I mean, it was just this picture perfect Thanksgiving. And Lisa's chugging wine. Lisa's getting lit. Lisa is the most fun person at this party. Like, I'm so happy. Like, that's the first time I learned, like, I'm the happiest drunk. I'm going to make sure everybody's having the best time. And I'm just going to get the party going, keep it going, and make everybody happy and laugh. That's what I want to do. It's just an exaggerated version of who I am regularly. But the first sign that maybe I was not fully in control of everything I was saying and doing is we were sitting down at the table eating this beautiful meal that my Aunt Vicky had slaved over for hours and hours and hours, planned days in advance. And I took a bite of something and I just went, this is good crap. And I meant it as a compliment, first of all. Okay, so before you judge me, I meant it as a compliment. But drunk Lisa, that's the way she decided to say it. Sober Lisa probably would have been like, this is so delicious. Wow, what is this recipe? Oh my gosh, this is amazing. Thank you so much for having me over. I love this. This is awesome. Yay! And then drunk Lisa's like, this is good crap. See this crap? This is good crap. And there was a moment of like, and then everybody laughed because my family is super laid back. But there was definitely a moment where my Aunt Vicky was like, pardon me? She was a school principal, so I was always a little scared of her. Still am, if I'm going to be honest. Still am. Vicky was here right now, and she heard me telling this story, like if she comes around the corner, she's like, well, and I'd be like, I would break out into a hot, cold sweats, both at the same time. I'd probably have a seizure, honestly. But anyway, yeah. And then it was like it was the first time I had ever gotten drunk. And I had some of my friends there, and they were laughing at me, of course, and like trying to help me out because I was just pinballing around that place. And Aunt Vicky has nice things in glass cases that shouldn't be broken by a 16-year-old drunk on Thanksgiving. So they're like, let's take you for a walk. Let's get you outside. And for some reason, I kept telling them, I'm okay. I'm not that drunk. Just ask me a question. Just ask me a question. Any question. Just ask me a question. Just ask me a question. Like, I don't know why, but that's like, and that was probably super annoying for the sober people. But like, that was me being like, I think I'm still in control of my brain. So just ask me any kind of question, not math, and I will prove to you that I'm still a functioning human being that's not drunk on 2 glasses of wine on Thanksgiving, being probably 16 years old. And I don't know what I expect. I don't know what I wanted from that. Like, when you're drunk, you can still answer questions. I wasn't so sure at the time. But yeah, that was one of my favorite Thanksgivings, and I remember it. That's the thing, is I don't know how drunk I was because I do remember, like, all of it. Maybe it's because I was I was hyper-focused because I couldn't believe that I was drunk. But I really do remember just like the whole night. And it was one of my favorite Thanksgivings of all time. And I really miss the Foyles family Thanksgivings growing up. We were all super tight, and we would always play football outside. And my grandma would make these incredible rolls. And then my Aunt Anne would make these cinnamon rolls, and the turkey was always dry. Nobody can figure it out, and that's fine. We didn't eat it. We just stuck to all the bread-like related items, cinnamon rolls and the regular rolls, and then any kind of pie. Right there, that was what my mashed potatoes. That's what my mashed potatoes aren't bread, but basically they are. They're just that much of a carb. They can hang with the bread, right? They're like accepted. Like if bread was having a party and mashed potatoes showed up at the door, they'd be like, oh, hold on. Hey, sourdough, can we let in mashed potatoes? What? Can we let in mashed potatoes? Yeah, sure. Yeah, okay. Yeah, all right, you can come in. I think that's what would happen at a bread party where mashed potatoes knocked on the door. So I miss those big Thanksgivings, but I hate to say it, but like as the years have gone on and people have died, we don't really have those. We don't really have those anymore, right? I don't live up north near my family anymore. My dad obviously passed away, and my grandma passed away, and all the like houses that I remember going to as a kid for these holidays, my family's like sold all of them, so I can't go back to them. Like my grandma C in Moscow, Idaho had this like awesome little house in the suburbs with like a big backyard, an amazing basement, and my whole childhood felt like it was spent in that house. Like there was they had a basement, and these carpeted stairs led down to the basement. And let me tell you, these were like the most 70s looking stairs you've ever seen in your life. I think the stairs had a pattern on the carpet that was like brown and orange and yellow somehow, like all mixed together in the most 70s pattern you've ever seen. Dan Flashes would loved it. So one thing we did as children is one person would go on the bottom of the stairs and wrap themselves in that eggshell foam that you use for camping to put your sleeping bags on so the ground isn't so hard and awful. One person would go at the bottom of the stairs and wrap themselves in that. And then the rest of us would be on the top of the stairs with a garbage can, full-size garbage can, full of tennis balls. And we'd say, ready, set, go! And then we would just dump it was like a barrel. I'm telling you, it was a massive garbage can full of tennis balls. And we just dump it down the stairs, and it would just boom, 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 just pummel the person on the bottom wrapped in the foam. And I have been that person wrapped in the foam. And you're just like, keep all your limbs under the foam. One limb gets out, you're getting bruised. You're getting all bruised up by the balls. And that's a thing that we did for fun. And we'd also make little movies. We made a Lord of the Rings movie at one point. And it was great. We had these long for some reason we always had pom-poms in the house because we were U of I fans and we go to the football games, and so we always had big pom-poms. So our way of making beards for Gandalf and Saruman in our Lord of the Rings movie is we would put the pom-poms we'd tuck them in our sweatshirts in the front, so they were like coming out the front next to our chin. So we had these big pom-pom beards. We'd be like, Bilbo Baggins. I wish I could find these videos. It was always spearheaded by me and my cousin Lauren, and we were both not right in the head. There's something wrong with us, but we embraced it, and that's fine. And Jenny was always there too, as Lauren's little sister. And do you ever have one of those friends and or cousins that it doesn't matter how old everyone gets, in your mind they're like always 8? they're always like 12 at the most. Like Jenny is like in her 30s, and she has a job, and like she's a full-blown adult. And yet I'll see her and be like, how is school, Jenny? How is second grade? Because you're only in second grade. It cannot register in my mind that she is older than that. And also one time we left her at a spaghetti factory. And I always wonder if that maybe scarred her for life. I should bring her on the podcast and ask her. So one of these holiday seasons that we all got together at Aunt Vicky's house up in Portland, it was a ton of us. I have lots and lots of cousins, lots of aunts and uncles, grandma, like the whole group. It's really hard to like wrangle all of us. But one night the dads come out and they're just like, yay! We were on the trampoline. They're like, yay! Get your shoes on, get in one of the vehicles, we're going to Spaghetti Factory. And we're like, no, we don't want to go to Get your shoes on and get in the car. We're going to the spaghetti factory. So we did, and we all scrambled around the house. It's like the beginning of Home Alone. It's just that chaotic. And we all got our shoes on. We all got to spaghetti factory, and we sat at one of those tables where they had to shove 5 tables together for us. And if you're at one end, there's no way you're talking to anybody more than 4 people down, right? So that's you're just stuck with whoever's next to you. We were there for a long time, and it was chaos. And then once again at the end, we all had to just scramble back to our vehicles and head back to the house. And we all got back to the house, and we were looking around, and we're like, "Where's Jenny?" Was she with you? I thought she was with you. Was she in your car? Which car was she? Hey, was she in your car? Has anybody seen Jenny? Vividly remember this moment where everybody's looking at each other just where's Jenny? And then her dad, Stan, was just like, God damn it! Left her at the spaghetti factory! So we get back in the car, and they rush back to the spaghetti factory. And they go inside, and little Jenny's just sitting with the staff eating a lollipop. I think she got ice cream. She did fine. She made it very well. She got a lollipop. She got ice cream. She got, I think, a slice of pie. She was fine, right? You're fine. Okay, your family left at your spaghetti factory. Oh, well, boo-hoo, you got pie and ice cream and lollipop. Okay, you're fine. But also, I can't believe we left her at a spaghetti factory. So they're like, well, yeah, she was a little scared at first. I think what happened is she was in the bathroom, and we all just peaced out, didn't do a head count. We're like, bye, every man for himself. She had to have been 6, I think, at the time, maybe younger. But she's we were all 8 and 9, so it's not our responsibility to look out for her. Maybe it was. It definitely was, now that I think about it. But anyway, yeah, we got Jenny back, and she's fine, and she's definitely not scarred from that experience that I know of. But anyway, what am I doing on time? Good. I have just a few minutes to talk about F1. So, as we discussed earlier in this episode, and as I have discussed several times on this podcast, your girl has anxiety, your girl's a people pleaser to the max, to unhealthy extents. I'm a people pleaser, and I just want everybody to be happy, and I don't like conflict at all. Just a second, I need a drink. Play the Wii thing. We haven't done that. Wii, do that. So anyway, jobs are pretty few and far between these days when you're an actor / on-camera host. There's just not as many as there used to be. There used to be a bunch. I used to be booking jobs all the time to the point where I could turn down jobs because there were so many of them. That's not the case anymore. Now, when a decent job comes along, you gotta say, hell yeah. You gotta say that. You gotta be all in. Because they're few and far between. So you gotta get in there. So this particular job was for Kelly Blue Book / Auto Trader / F1. It was a whole collaboration. And they needed a man on the street. Are you familiar with Billy on the Street? Billy on the street, Billy on the street, he's making dreams come true. Billy on the street. So they needed a Billy on the street. And I was like, okay, I haven't really done a lot of that, but I'm going to audition anyway. And so I audition, and I book it almost immediately. They really like me, and they're like, you're the one, you're the girl. The shoe fits, so let's go. Let's do this. I'm like, all right, cool. I guess I'm doing Billy on the Street. But I did not make dreams come true, as Billy strives to do. Pretty early on in the job, I realized I'm not sure I'm cut out for this. This is very stressful. Now, let me set the scene for you. Las Vegas Strip, F1, people everywhere. Every street performer, busker, dancer is out. There's always a dude on a bucket who's and he has a tip jar, and you're supposed to tip him for his bucket drumming. Good, yeah, you're doing great. And then there's somebody dressed up as Woody, but then his head is tilted, and he's like, "Hey kids!" They're that's not what Woody sounds like. You're scaring me. And then there's dancers, and there's always just singers that are too loud. It's just, it's chaos, right? It's the Strip. This is where chaos happens. It's all concentrated to this one street. And then you got your girl who's there with a camera crew and a tiny little microphone. And they're like, okay, your job is to go up to people and ask them these questions about Kelly Blue Book. In fact, one of them was like a competition. One of them was I had to get like 2 separate people to compete against each other for a little Kelly Blue Book contest. And then the other one was asking them like car questions and getting their car opinions. So they had specific things they needed me to get from these strangers. They needed me to acquire certain answers for their Instagram video. And that, now your girl's usually used to like a more controlled environment. Usually like there's a rehearsal, or I know I have lines, there's a teleprompter, or like it's just me on camera, or I'm interviewing like one person who has been prepped and knows they're being interviewed. This was the first time where they're like, go for it, go fishing. And I had to go fish for strangers walking around to go talk to them. I had to go bother strangers on the sidewalk, get them to be on camera, and then put a microphone in their mouth and make them talk. Not a microphone in their mouth, and then you know how microphones work, just next to their mouth. It's fine. So I gotta tell you guys, I've never been told no so many times in my life. I have never been rejected so many times so quickly. People so did not want to talk to me at all. And I get it. I don't like people talking to me when I'm on the sidewalk. Yo, I've been in entertainment my whole life. And if I'm walking on the street and I see a camera crew and somebody with a microphone looking around, I'm gone. I'm done. And I would be the best interview they got that day. I would be charismatic on camera. I would give them everything they needed. They'd be like, wow, that was the best interview of the day. We can all go home early. Yay. Thank you, mysterious redhead. And I'd be gone. That's what I would provide a camera crew. But no, I don't like being bothered when I'm not ready. So if I see Billy on the street, I'm running. I'm hightailing it out of there. So I don't blame anybody for hightailing it away from me, because they definitely did. Oh my gosh, you guys. Just going up to people. Hi, excuse me. No, thank you. Hi, can you answer? Nope. Oh, sorry. Nope. Hi, real quick. Can I? No. I actually had one guy put his hand up in my face and just be like, no. Keep going. It was almost as if it was a hidden camera show where I was being filmed by a separate crew that was like, let's see how many times this girl can get rejected by strangers before she starts crying. Let's watch. That's totally what it felt like. Person after person after person. At one point, I think I got rejected like 20 times in a row. And I was so nice, right? Like they kept trying to tell me to like be aggressive and like, hey, I'm with Kelly Blue Book. I need you to answer a couple questions. Or like, they're like, oh, just go up to them and start talking. Like start asking them questions. And I'm like, no, like I'm not gonna do that. So my strategy was to totally like, big blue eyes, bat the eyelashes, just like wince a little as I go up to them. Really not threatening, like shoulders in, like microphone kind of like I'm holding the microphone like a rose, like I want to ask them to prom or something. And I'm just like go up to them and be like, hi, I'm with Kelly Blue Book. Is it okay if I ask you just a quick question real quick? It's okay if not. It's okay. Like this was just not my thing. I don't know how to do this. But I got to tell you, it ended fine. It was fine. I did my 2 days, long hours on the Strip. But I did it. They put out the videos on Kelly Blue Book and Auto Trader on Instagram. You can go see them. But it all worked out totally fine. But I got to tell you, my heart hurt after 2 days of that. 2 full days. I probably had 200 people tell me no. I mean, I'm telling you, man, it was... As a people pleaser who just wants everybody to be happy, it nearly broke me. In fact, there was one guy who was like, he was like right on the edge of like maybe he was gonna do it, and then he kind of got rude and then just like said like no and then walked away. And at this point, I had been doing it for so many hours, I was getting surly, and I think I yelled at him, "You remember my face? when you go to sleep tonight, you remember this face. You told her no. I definitely said that to somebody. And that's when I'm like, I think I need a 5-minute break. I think I need a small break. Can we take 5, guys? I'm starting to yell at strangers. Can we take 5? So, look, I did it, and I always talk about how you need to push yourself out of your comfort zone and try new things, especially as a performer. It's good to try new stuff. You know, like I said, I was a singer my whole life, but then I pushed myself to be in a metal band, and now that's opened up all these doors and I love doing that so much. Same with hosting. I used to be super scared of like live hosting, like emceeing on stage, and then I did it a couple times, and I'm like, this isn't so bad. I can do this. And so this was... Even with all of the experience I have, with all of my years of acting and on-camera hosting and all of this, live emceeing, anything, this was the first time I'd done Man on the Street, and I did it. And I could do it again for money, but I gotta tell you, I don't want to do it again. I don't want to do it again. I will do it again. I don't want to. I will, don't want to. And look, you may feel a similar way this week about Thanksgiving. You may be like, I will go visit my family. I don't want to, but I will. I don't want to, but I will. And you may feel that way. And or you don't celebrate Thanksgiving at all because you don't live here, and that's fine. Then go for you. It's just a normal Thursday. Go play video games. But for the rest of us, you know, I'm super excited. I get to go over to a friend's house and play a little football, and I think it's going to be a great day. Like I said, I knew from a young age I wanted to be drunk on Thanksgiving. I'm going to be drunk tomorrow. It's going to be great. I can't wait. Tomorrow's just get drunk, eat turkey, eat pie. That's all I want to do. Get those mashed potatoes, partying with the bread. I want to see that party. I want to get into that party. I'm going to get drunk. I'm going to make sure everybody's having a great time. And then I'm going to say, this is good crap. And I'm going to get real nostalgic. And nobody's going to know what I mean. But I'll know what I mean. And you'll know what I mean. Anyway, thank you guys for subscribing. Thank you for coming back every week. I totally forgot to say this was episode 61. That's pretty exciting. I've broken past 60. Episode 61, go me, woo! So you can help me out by subscribing on Instagram. It just throws me like a couple bucks every month just to support me and my chaos, whatever the show is. You can also buy merch on leasefoils.com. I got Temperamental merch. Christmas is coming. You should definitely get a Temperamental shirt for somebody who's never seen this podcast and just see their face as they open it up and they're like, oh, you shouldn't have. And then they open it up and they're like, ah. That's how it's going to go. They're going to be like, oh my God, what? And that's a gift that I give to you. You give somebody a shirt with a cat on it and they don't understand it, and you get to watch them be confused but still grateful, right? Because you have to be grateful when someone gives you a gift if you don't understand it. So yeah, you help me out by buying merch, help me out by subscribing, listen to Vomble on Spotify. I keep coming back every week. Sorry I took 2 weeks off. I'm so sorry. But have a fabulous Thanksgiving, and I love you guys. See you next time. How did that video end? I said something about, you'll forget about you'll forget about your family and your seasonal depression. And then it said Merry Drunkmas at the end.
Drink up. You'll feel better about your family and your seasonal depression.
Yeah, that sounds like me. Nothing's changed. Merry Drunkmas. Hallelujah.